Hello, I'm Todd Lewis from Fiasco Sports, reporting for the SA Footballer magazine. Today I'm joined by John Paynter from the Adelaide University Football Club in Division 1, and he's our feature coach of the week. So John, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up playing football?
Yeah, I started at Brighton Primary when I was about year 2 or year 3, and those days were different to now where, we usually started footy in senior primary, so I was lucky to start a lot younger. That was even before they had under 10, so it was great times. And then in the Glenelg area, played the Glenelg under 17s and 19s, and went on from there.
I'm not sure if you'd remember, but I'd be interested to find out, back in those days when you played school football, did they have tackling, considering it was a harder era? These days they don't tackle at that age. Was it a competitive brand of football?
As I said, I was a year 3 boy playing a year 7 competition, and they had tackling. And so it was, and I was, pretty small, and it was a frightening thing.
Do you reckon that hardened you up for later in your career?
I never became hardened up. But having said that, I'm actually an advocate of tackling. Because I see the modified rules with no tackling, and I actually think for the young children, I think tackling is actually safer than non-tackling. Non-tackling, they bump, they accidentally lift an arm or an elbow, and that's going to hurt a lot more than being tackled.
Yeah, and it's also such an important part of the game as you get older. Tell us a little bit about your coaching career. How did you get into coaching?
Well, I was a school teacher before I became a real person, and that always led me to, coaching school teams. I then coached in the amateur league for St Peter's Old Collegians when they were in Div 2, and that was fantastic. And then returned to coach the uni the last few years, and in between that helped out at Sturt in the juniors for a while. So I think being a teacher, and a football, I think you've got that passion to coach anyway.
Yeah, and what is it like to coach Adelaide University's first side? Because it's obviously a massive club. There's a whole lot of players that come through the system. How do you find dealing with that?
Look, I think you speak to prospective players, and they think they know what the culture of Adelaide Uni Footy Club is. They think they know what it's like to play Adelaide Uni Footy Club. They've got no idea. And it is the same thing when you coach a big club like this. You don't really know until you get there, and it's better than you could even imagine. It's fantastic.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about your experiences at St Peter's Old Collegians. Obviously a bit different environment and ex-school team, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's not totally different, but Adelaide Uni is more inclusive, I'd suggest. Spock came about because I taught there for 7 years, so it was a fantastic fit. I ended up being lucky enough to coach people that I taught in the classroom, which was great, and then we had outsiders as well. So when we won Div 2, I was lucky to coach people like Seb Packer, who was on the Crows list, Tony Keenan, who played at Collingwood, and some really good old Spock kids. Chris Hall was a terrific player, Johnny Kerr, who should have played 250 games of league football. He was that good. Neil Cross on ABC News, and we had a terrific team, and it's still a great club. And what Trevor Hill did a few years ago to go from Div 2 premiers to Div 1 premiers, I think, is just a standout.
Yeah, and I'll just ask, what do you enjoy most about coaching?
I think the thing you miss when you're playing is the camaraderie, and this is your chance to extend your connection to the sport that you enjoy. So it's clearly the camaraderie, the extra camaraderie you have, not being able to play, but enjoying that by being a coach.
Okay, and we'll move on to the club now. Are there any club sponsors you'd like to mention that help Adelaide University on a weekend?
Look, we don't pay our players, and we proudly, say that we are the only club in Div 1 that don't pay their players. We interview players and talk to them, and then they, wink and say, well, how much we pay. And said, no, they don't believe us, but that's fine. So we do get support from within, but we're also very grateful for the support we get from the Havelock Hotel.
Okay, and what about club functions? Have you had any so far, and have you got any coming up?
Well, I won't say the biggest club function. The best club function is clearly the Ladies' Day.
Yeah.
So a big plump next month for the Ladies' Day. If the ladies come and don't enjoy the Ladies' Day, they're probably not breathing. So it'll be a good day.
Okay, thank you, John. I'm Todd Lewis from Fiasco Sports, reporting for the SA Footballer magazine. I've been joined by John Paynter from the Adelaide University Football Club in Division 1, and he's our feature coach of the week.